Bill, Ben Bernanke is going to work as an advisor to your former colleagues. News of the day. Why is that a good move for Pimco?
Well, you know, when I was at Pimco, we hooked up with Alan Greenspan.
I remember 2007.
Sure, and he came for 4 or 5 years every quarter, and we had discussions and dinners and so on. And I think it's a good move from that standpoint. Obviously, it's a public relations effort.
How much value? It's a public relations effort?
Well, of course. You know, to be able to hook up with Ben Bernanke, I think it is. That was one of the reasons why we did it with Alan Greenspan. But we found out, you know, that there were some very positive benefits to it as well.
Like what? What kind of value can a former Fed chairman provide?
Well, he can provide, and she can provide, you know, at some point in the future, Janet Yellen
will be a former Fed chairman.
They can provide, if anything, a sense of what the Fed thinks in terms of how they approach, you know, a forward-looking problem such as inflation too low or the real economy too low. And so that's helpful. It doesn't mean you got to buy in, and I don't buy into the current Fed approach, but at least you know what they're thinking, and it's a good example always to not fight the Fed, but to, as I put on a coffee mug long ago, to be very afraid.
So you'd hire him if you could?
I don't think so. I've moved on in terms of my personal experience, and you know, I'm more than glad to read his weekly blogs and get information that way, and to spend the rest of my time in markets.
Is it right, Bill, for a former public official, and let's recognize that there are few public officials who've held as much power as Ben Bernanke did, to trade on that experience? Speaking engagements and meetings for $250,000 a shot, and presumably millions more with the gig that he's just signed on to at Pimco, and of course the other one at Citadel?
Well, I think it's the acceptable standard. I mean, Fed chairmen write books, politicians write books, sometimes before they're elected, a lot of times afterwards. You know, politicians move on to K Street in terms of lobby land, and so whether it's right or not, it's imbued, I think, in our existing ethic that they should do that.
It sounds like you have a sort of a lukewarm feeling about it.
Well, I have a lukewarm feeling about politicians and lobbyists and K Street. I can really sing you on that one, but you don't have time.
No.